next question, it would be topic 16. Yes, for those of you who are following the order of the questions, if you are studying along with me, the topic 16 is the true meaning of emptiness and the ground view of nihilistic emptiness or nihilistic emptiness. The answer to this can be found in several places, but especially in a chapter that is dedicated to contrast or to correct this wrong point of view, which is the chapter 8, the ground view of nihilistic emptiness in the true meaning of emptiness. Sorry, the ground view of nihilistic emptiness in the book, the Simple Teachings on Emptiness and Buddha Nature. So the same book that we were talking about. So let's go there. Let's go to this book. We will read some passages from there. It will be chapter 8, page 165. 165. All right. So if you go there, we see many summaries made by Josho Sensei and also quoting the teachings of Padmasambhava, actually, nonetheless, which is actually an enlightened being, a Buddha who brought Buddhism to Tibet. No? It's an enlightened being. Yes. Okay, so I will give you just an analogy because this topic of nihilistic emptiness is something quite sad, actually, because many Buddhists, not only from today but throughout Buddhist history, have fallen into the wrong view, the tragic wrong view of emptiness, and seeing emptiness like a nihilistic, like a super death, like something completely inert. And they think that samsara and nirvana are just delusion, and of course samsara is delusion, but of course they also see that Buddhas don't exist, that Pure Lands are just illusion, that everything is worthless, and this of course is not what the Buddhas taught. Okay, imagine that you are in a prison, yes, as Josho Sensei puts in a very simple example. You are in a prison cell, everything there is like damp, everything there looks terrible, everything there is dusty. So like you see all the spiders, you know, maybe mice, whatever. You are there, and somebody tells you that outside there is something different. Okay, so you tell them, oh, there is no mice there. There are no rats. It's not full of dust. It doesn't suck like everything else here. You see. But of course, what is outside is not only free from dust, it's not only free from darkness of the prison, but it's also filled with the qualities of being in a park, you see? So you see all the birds singing, all of the sun rays, you know, I don't know, butterflies, the fresh air, no? Fresh water, no? But the thing is that many people inside the prison think that you have to get rid of all of the shortcomings and all of the difficulties of the prison, but outside of those there is nothing. There is nothingness, and that is actually very sad that they think that. It's people who are so trapped in samsara, no, that they try to say that there is nothing outside of the prison. Yes, and actually this is not true. Okay, actually Buddhas do exist, as Josho Sensei says here. Buddhas do not exist in the same way we exist in samsara, that is, conditioned samsaric beings with delusions, blind passions, attachments, and distorted view of reality. They don't exist in the same way with these blind passions and these false views, but this does not mean that they don't actually exist. Actually, if you read the larger sutra or the Lotus Sutra or the Avatamsaka Sutra, the Garland Sutra, you will see that Buddhas are spoken about by the Buddhas and great Bodhisattvas in a very lively fashion. They do explain all of the Pure Lands and all of the beings that inhabit there, all of the beauty that is to be found there, all of the light, all of these, and they have a lot of there is lots of poetry and music in Buddhism, you know, and dance, you know, praising the beautiful realms of Amida Buddha, of Medicine Master Buddha, the great, you know, realms of enlightenment created by all of these great Buddhas like Tara, like Padmasambhava, and they're spoken about with great enthusiasm, you see? So, of course, samsara is delusion. Samsara is empty. Yeah? Samsara doesn't have a true identity because it's like a magical apparition, you see? However, that is not to say that Buddhas do not have Pure Lands. That is not to say that there is nothing outside of samsara. There is a lot of that is true life outside of samsara. Okay, So nowadays, many Buddhists do not understand the meaning of avoiding the extremes of nihilism and eternalism, or of the existence and non-existence. Okay, so there is something quite important for us to understand. To think that everything is empty is not to see Buddha nature. Buddha nature is only empty, as I explained in the previous questions, is only empty of samsaric phenomena. Okay, but it is not empty of itself. Yes, it itself, as many of the Mahayana sutras explain, is filled with infinite life, with infinite compassion and infinite wisdom, and millions of enlightened qualities. Yes, as vast as the sands of the Ganges River, if you want to use the language of the sutras. Yes. Okay, the world of the Buddhas, the Pure Lands, and their enlightened activities for the benefit of sentient beings are extraordinarily presented in the sutras, not because they are mythical, as Jodo Sensei says, but because their reality is truly extraordinary and beyond the karmic confines of our samsaric existence. It's like a guy who goes to a prison cell, and let's imagine in this analogy that all of the people have been born in the prison, yes, and they have never seen what is outside the prison. And so, and a guy tells them, "Hey, there are water fountains there. There are mountains. There are animals, beautiful. I don't know, light. Flowers. There's pine trees, and they begin to speak about all of the things that are never to be found inside the prison. Okay, so some people might say, "Oh, okay, you are joking. There's nothing outside. There is nothing outside. There is only gloom and darkness, and maybe only when we go to sleep, yes, and we don't sense anything, we will be able to actually get rid of this misery. But actually, outside of samsara, there is actually reality, okay, true reality. So, as Jodo Sensei says here, as beings who live their entire lives in the narrow cells of our limited bodies that survive on food and water, grow old, get sick, and die, we find it hard to believe that some guys can actually have as many bodies as forms as they like. That is to say, Buddhas have the ability to have the Dharmakaya, which is all-pervasive, the all-pervasive body that all Buddhas share. They have an eternal Sambhogakaya living in a Pure Land. In our case, we want to have a Sambhogakaya in Amida Buddha's Pure Land, and they can emanate as many Nirmanakaya bodies as they want. Okay, so we as samsaric beings, we are confined to time and to space. We think that all beings are confined to time and space. But this is, of course, not true. Those beings who have transcended samsara, who have transcended time and space, they can do things that we cannot even imagine. Yes? Okay? So this is very important for us to understand. Okay? And to say that there are no Buddhas doing compassionate activities, there are no Pure Lands and Buddhas above of samsara, is to fall into the wrong view of nihilistic emptiness, is to deny the compassion of the Buddhas. And this, of course, has tremendous bad karma, because if you are denying the Buddhas, yes, whose objective is to liberate all of beings and to bring them towards enlightenment, then you are creating a very heavy karma, yes, that leads to the hell realms. Okay, actually, Master Padmasambhava said this, and I want to quote him. He says, "The sign of having gone astray is to start making statements such as these: there are no Buddhas above, there are no sentient beings below, everything is emptiness since it doesn't exist." Okay. Then Padmasambhava says, "Someone who acts in this way or says such a thing is perverting what is true, will have no other place to go than Vajra hell." And Vajra hell is terrible. It's similar to Avicii hell. It's terrible. I think it's the worst place you can go to. Yes, because this is encountering the Dharma, yes, and distorting the Dharma. So this is actually creating many obstacles for sentient beings who actually need to hear the Dharma as it is. They need to hear of the compassion of the Buddhas. This used to happen to me because I used to, before I encountered Mahayana Buddhism, I used to read a lot of Zen and some Theravada Buddhists who I thought that they were bordering on nihilism, because they thought that, oh, everything is worthless, there is only suffering, just let go of everything and let's like melt into nothingness. That's the best way I can describe their ideas. But actually, when I read the Mahayana Sutras and I truly understood what enlightenment truly meant, which is actually eternal compassion and wisdom and true life, then something within my heart changed. Yes, because I truly saw the Buddhas for who they truly are, which is our compassionate fathers, no, compassionate fathers and mother figures, and they actually care for us. They're actually alive. Yes, as Master Honen said, whenever you put your hands into Amida Buddha sees it, whenever you hold you, Amida Buddha sees it, they are actually real. They are people, enlightened persons. You see, Buddhas are not like a symbol, are not like a metaphor, they are not like robots, are not ideas. They are real people. But the thing is that the difference is that they are enlightened beings. That is the difference. Okay, they have a heart. Yeah? They think, but they are enlightened. That is the difference between us and them. Okay, this is very important for us to understand. So yes, that is the false teaching of nihilistic emptiness. And of course, the true teaching on emptiness is that samsaric phenomena are empty. Everything in samsara has three characteristics, which is that everything leads to suffering, everything is selfless, yes, and everything is impermanent. Okay, that is the three marks of samsara. In that sense, that teaching is true. Everything in samsara is empty. Okay, but Buddha nature is not itself empty. It is only empty or free from samsaric phenomena, and it has many different enlightened qualities, which we will discover in Amida Buddha's Pure Land. Okay.